The concept of time in Italy. Prepared by Mario
Leonardo da Vinci.
and David.
Italian culture is steeped in arts, family, architecture, music, and food. Home of the Roman Empire and the major center of the Renaissance, culture on the Italian peninsula has flourished for centuries. About 96% of the population of Italy is Italian, though there are many other ethnicities that live in this country. The bordering countries of Italy, which are France, Switzerland, and Austria, have influenced the Italian culture, as have the Mediterranean islands of Sardinia and Sicily. The official language of the country is Italian. According to BBC, about 93% of the Italian population speak Italian as a native language. Other languages spoken by native Italians include Albanian, Bavarian, Catalan, Cimbrian, Corsican, Croatian, French, German, Greek, Slovenian, and Walser. The major religion in Italy is Roman Catholicism. That is not surprising, as Vatican City, located in the heart of Rome, is the hub of Roman Catholicism and where the Pope resides. Roman Catholics make up 90% of the population, while the other 10% is composed of Protestant, Jewish, and a growing Muslim immigrant community. Italy has given rise to a number of architectural styles, including Classical Roman, Renaissance, Baroque, and New Classical. Italy is home to some of the most famous structures in the world, including the Colosseum and the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Italian cuisine has influenced food culture around the world and is viewed as a form of art by many. Wine, cheese, and pasta are an important part of Italian meals. For Italians, food isn't just nourishment, it is life. Family gatherings are frequent and often centered around food and the extended networks of families. Each region in Italy has its own spin on Italian food.
Every culture has developed its own response to time. The time orientation dimension has two aspects: the relative importance cultures give to the past, present, and future, and their approach to structuring time. Time can be structured in two ways: sequential time and synchronic time. In one approach, time moves forward, second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, in a straight line. This is called sequentialism. In a sequential culture, people structure time sequentially, do things one at a time, and respect plans and timetables. In another approach, time moves round in cycles of minutes, hours, days, years. We call this synchronism. In a synchronic time culture, people do several things at once, believing time is flexible and intangible. Relationships are more important than schedules, and appointment times are approximate. Italians' more synchronic nature can be seen in their less strict time schedules. However, Italians seem to be moving to more strict punctuality, particularly in the more industrialized north. Italy is a mixture of past and present oriented country. Past present cultures show respect for ancestors and elders and tend to view current happenings with regard to past experience. At the same time, past present oriented cultures live in the here and now. Past oriented societies are concerned with traditional values and ways of doing things. Tradition is, in fact, highly valued. They look to the past for inspiration, motivation, sustenance, hope, guidance, and direction. They are likely to prefer old habits to new, old buildings to modern architecture, etc. On the other hand, present-oriented societies see the future as uncertain. Tomorrow may never come, so they think they better focus on today. They consequently prefer short-term benefits and immediate results. As said before, Italy is a mix from both of them.
Since World War II, the Italian society has changed, with a significant impact on daily life. One of the main elements of change is the more visible role women play in society outside the home, such as increased participation in higher education and the professions. For Italian families, among the most popular daily leisure activities are watching television, listening to the radio, reading newspapers, and going to the cinema. Reading books and engaging in sports are less common among the majority of people. According to surveys, Italians are very satisfied with their family relations, friendships, and health status, while their economic status and their working positions are less satisfactory. Young Italians meet friends on a daily basis, making frequent trips to bars, cinemas, pizzerias, and discos. Food is traditionally a primary element of Italian life. International dishes such as pasta and pizza and ingredients such as olive oil are popular in Italy, of course, but Italian cuisine remains characterized by strong regional traditions, local geography, way of life, and history. Northern Italian gastronomy is well known for its use of butter, rice, polenta, and cheeses. Seafood and shellfish are prevalent on the coasts. Meat dishes are popular in central Italy. For instance, wild boar is cooked in Tuscany and Umbria. The south is renowned for citrus fruits, olive groves, and vineyards. Italy is also one of the world's largest wine producers, and every region in Italy is known for wine. For most Italians in the 21st century, religious activity plays a much smaller role in daily life than it did in the prior century, and is usually concentrated on Sundays or on special celebrations such as Christmas and Easter. However, older generations, especially in rural settlements, tend to be more involved and may attend Mass every day. Italy's strong agricultural tradition gives rise to a multitude of festivals celebrating the harvest, food, country, and seafaring pursuits. These festivals reflect the traditional activities of the area in which they are held. For example, the Olive and Bruschetta Festival at Spello marks the end of the olive harvest.
The safest practice when organizing and attending meetings in Italy is to act local. Your business partner will appreciate your cultural sensitivity. Italians, like most South European people, are relationship oriented. Italy is a particularist country and they usually prefer to establish direct relationships before getting down to business. The establishment of a reciprocal climate of trust and respect is as important as the exchange of information and details about a specific business proposal. Meetings are a way to get a deeper and common understanding of an issue rather than forming the conclusive part of a decision making process. So, in this sense, they are more exploratory and analysis oriented than decision oriented. The goal of early contact and particularly of the first meeting is to provide all the information needed regarding a proposal and, in particular, to establish a reciprocal climate of trust and respect. Be prepared for lengthy negotiations. Often negotiations are conducted slowly, both because Italians tend to carefully evaluate advantages and risks, and because of the hierarchical decision-making process of Italian companies. Final decisions, due to the rigid hierarchical management structures, are centralized and taken by the chairman. During negotiations, Italians give importance to verbal commitments, and the final contract is certainly based on previous informal agreements. Be patient. Even when the timescale for conducting business is short, it's important to give time to your Italian partners. A sense of urgency is often taken as an attempt to weaken one's bargaining position.
As I was living in Italy before, I faced some experiences related to the concept of time. For example, 2 years ago, when I was attending some classes in a university in Florence, there were students coming from different cultural backgrounds, mainly Germany, Spain, Iceland, and many more. Our lecturer, who was of Italian origin, would always start his class 5 to 15 minutes late, and he would always finish the class earlier. And it is considered okay and acceptable to be late when you're in Italy. Another example would be the public transportation. The high-speed train are reasonably punctual most of the time, but of course there are some exceptions. The regionale trains seem to have more of a problem with punctuality, especially during busy times. They are always 5, 10, or even 30 minutes late. It happened to me when I had to take the train from Florence to Milan for a conference. According to the timetable, they were supposed to come at 7 o'clock in the morning, but once I reached there, all the trains went on a strike and no one was informed about it. And it was not the first time this happened. As I know how it works, I had to go by bus and I was 1 hour late to the conference. Like me, there were many other tourists and locals who had to take the bus and other means of transportation to reach their destination. Which is not convenient, especially when you're running late. Grazie per l'attenzione.
Thank you for your attention.
İlginiz için teşekkür ederim.